Twice nightly, our friend here gargles with fire and never even singes his epiglottis. And Twinkletoes, well, he leaps around on broken bottles without so much as cutting his little toenail. Voodoo? Fake? Mind over matter? Anybody's guess is better than mine.
Frank?
What's the matter?
I don't know. Come on, sit down. Sorry I'm late.
I drink this. You look as though you need it.
Simon, listen. It was sheer chance. A fortune worth 20, maybe $30 million.
Yes, well, let's get a little fresh air, shall we?
No, listen. On Nookai Island, there's... Simon would be rich. It's there for the taking. All I need is your help.
You can sleep it off upstairs.
Mind?
I don't. The police may. He's not drunk. He's dead.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Who is he?
His name's Cody. Frank Cody. Mine, Simon Templar.
Was he a close friend?
Fairly close, yes.
I'm sorry.
Miss Clayton,
Yes, Inspector?
I understand you took a photograph of this man immediately after his death.
So?
May I have your camera, please?
But you can't.
I beg your pardon?
I'm Marla Clayton.
So you said.
Of International Photo News, New York. Have a heart, Inspector. I'm a reporter. I mean, this sort of thing's my business.
It isn't. Your camera, please. You'll return to your hotel first thing in the morning. Thank you. Get a taxi for Miss Clayton, please.
Thanks, but I'd prefer to walk.
Good night, Miss Clayton.
Be careful of it. It cost me $700. I'll be in the bar at the Royal. Come over and tell me all, huh?
Mr. Templar, you have a certain reputation.
Oh, I'm glad you're aware of it, Inspector.
I'm aware of it, and I don't like it.
Cody talked to this guy.
Son, he died very fast. He could not have said much.
He wouldn't have to, would he?
He was sweating, breathing fast, then he mumbled a few words about feeling dizzy and collapsed.
Known him long?
About 10 years.
His occupation?
He was a chemist, been around a fair amount, London, New York. I had a cable from him a week ago. He asked me to meet him here tonight at 10.
Did he say why?
No, except that it would be profitable.
For whom?
Both of us.
May I see this cable?
I'm afraid I threw it away.
Indeed.
Didn't strike me as being important.
Naturally. What was he doing on the islands?
He was working for Charles Crayford.
Really?
Is that significant?
It might be. Dr. Crayford is a rather controversial figure in these parts. Some people literally worship him, others hate him.
Now we know how he died.
Well, Mr. Templar, that should be all for the moment.
Thank you, Inspector.
Oh, where are you staying?
The Beach Club.
Don't move out. Good night, Mr. Templar.
Good night, Inspector.
Life was made for living and loving and giving and having, romancing and dancing and song. Include that in your plan and you'll wind up a wiser and happier
Evening,
man.
sir.
Good evening. A vodka tonic, please.
Yes, sir.
Everybody can tell these two are in love and happy as well. Everybody can tell these two lovebirds are happy as well. You can sing calypso till you're deaf and blind. They ain't paying you the slightest bit of mind. He's her bow and she's his belle, and the whole rest of us can all go to. Life was made for living and loving and giving and having, romancing and dancing and song.
Hey,
Put
Vargas.
that in your plan and you'll wind up a wiser and happier man. Last week a young fellow got married and settled down to his married life. He was a straight-laced kind of young fellow and only knew the respectable life. Poor
Yes, sir.
chap, he didn't know one thing. His wife nearly presented him back with the ring. But she said, if you want my advice, take a night out and learn to treat women nice. Life was made for living and loving and giving and having, romancing and dancing and song. Include that in your plan and you'll wind up a wiser and happier man. One thing I like to see is a man enjoying his own company. But the thing I don't like to see is a man suffering his own company. After all is said and done, you'll agree life's too short to miss all the fun. So grab a girl from the shelf, get busy and start to enjoy yourself.
Sorry, Frank.
That's okay.
That's fine, fine.
Dancing and dancing and song. Include that in your plan and you'll wind up
Outside,
a wiser
friend.
and happier man. Oh, and behold a calamity. My friend here spilled his friend's whiskey. Indeed, a tragedy. My friend here spilled his friend's whiskey. Well, you want to know what I think? You should buy the whole bar a round of drink.
Get lost, boy.
And between us confidentially, tell the waiter mine is a large brandy. Life was made for living and
Outside,
loving
friend.
and giving and having, romancing and dancing and song.
Give me the police! Give me the police! This ties up with the Cody killing. They assumed he told you something profitable, did he?
No.
Where were you when you received Cody's cable?
London.
London. You came 4,000 miles to keep an appointment without knowing any of the details.
Oh, London's cold, the islands are warm, I needed a holiday.
And how long are you staying?
It depends. I'm going over to see Charles Crayford tomorrow.
Why?
Well, he's a very famous man, and I'm curious.
Mr. Templar, you are not to investigate Cody's murder either officially or unofficially. Understand? That is my job.
Then why not get on with it? Good morning.
I'm not speaking to you.
You're not speaking?
You didn't turn up last night.
I apologize.
You've got something, haven't you, about Cody's death?
Not yet, but I am hopeful. Anyway, I want you to do me a favor.
Anything.
Keep Cody's death a secret.
I'll keep quiet on one condition.
Which is?
You give me the exclusive story.
It's a bargain. Now, tell me why you are going to Nukai.
I'm what is called covering the great Charles Crayford in depth. I take 1,000 photographs, and the magazine publishes 10. Look saintly.
Of course, Charles Crayford has become a 20th century legend, just like Schweitzer, a totally dedicated man of medicine, a great doctor, a towering hero figure.
You don't go along with the general adoration?
I'm a professional cynic.
Is that a good living?
Oh, dandy. I have the confidence of everyone and the trust of nobody.
Shangri-La coming up on the starboard side.
Isn't it lush? Absolute paradise.
You're Miss Clayton?
Yes.
My name is Grant. I serve Dr. Crayford.
Sir?
I sincerely hope so.
Well, this is Mr. Simon Templar.
You're welcome, Mr. Templar.
Thank you.
Would you mind if we stopped off a moment in the village on our way to the house? I have some packages to collect.
None at all.
I'd better jump in the back.
By the way, Grant, is Arlene Bland still part of the establishment? Well, I wasn't suggesting anything out of order.
Miss Bland is one of the most generous women in the world.
Is that you, Charles? Oh, it's you. What was that?
That was for me. Do you mind?
Oh, that will be Grant with our guests. Oh, and may I suggest that you put on a shirt and a tie? I think we could at least maintain a few of the social niceties, hmm?
Didn't I tell you never come to the house?
I'm only trying to save our lives.
You beat it. If Cody did, we're safe.
We're not. Let's contact a man called Templar is here.
What?
Grant just picked him up in the Jeep with the girl. I tell you, this whole business is going to blow up in our faces.
Simon Templar.
Such a pleasure to have you. Do come in.
Thank you.
This is Mr. Vanderbilt. He does all the buying for the laboratory. Miss Clayton and Mr. Templar.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Mr. Vanderbilt?
Excuse me.
We expected Miss Clayton, but not you, Mr. Templar.
Well, I hope I'm not putting you out.
I'm afraid there isn't room.
I distinctly told Dr. Crayford that I'd be bringing my assistant. I never do a story without Simon along.
Oh, we've been collaborating for years.
Mr. Cody won't be back until Thursday. Mr. Templar can have his room.
Very well, if you wish.
Well, tell Grant, will you please?
Certainly. Excuse me.
I'm afraid that Mr. Vanderford isn't exactly adept at public relations.
It really doesn't matter.
Could I take your picture, Miss Bland?
Must you?
Why, it's a good angle, the third richest woman in the world.
If you stand over here. Yeah, great.
I hope you've got expert retouches.
It won't be necessary.
I was 40 last month. And you know something? I couldn't care less. When I think of the unconscionable amount of time and money that I wasted on clothes and parties and so-called society, I actually shudder. Well, thank goodness I've grown up.
Meaning you've given up all your old friends?
Well, I never really had any.
And now you devote all your time and money to Charles Crayford?
All of it. After the gay life, having had everything, which was nothing, I feel privileged to devote everything to him. He's the greatest man alive, you know. Oh, I think we can disturb him now. It's time for his lunch. He has a building just across the garden, if you care to follow me.
Forgive me. I must make that particular observation every 30 minutes. You see, Mr. Templar, cells might be described as the bricks of which the human body is built. Too many disease cells, and you have a diseased body. In lay language, what I'm trying to do is to make every single one of the billions of cells in the body so strong, so absolutely invulnerable, that the person becomes totally immune.
To everything?
To all disease, permanently.
How do you achieve this?
One inoculation of my serum given to a child at the instant of birth, then twice a year for life.
And the child is never sick?
Never.
It's a tremendous concept.
It's absolutely heroic.
But Dr. Crayford, why here? At Nukai? This is such an out-of-the-way place.
Don't you miss not being near a large medical center?
Surely you know why I left the United States, Miss Clayton.
I never heard your side of the story.
In the eyes of Western so-called civilization, I'm a murderer. 7 years ago, I encountered a 12-year-old child, terminally ill. At best, she had 3 weeks to live. At the request of her parents, I injected her with my serum. That was on a Monday. Tuesday, she died.
He was accused of malpractice, discredited, disgraced. 200 people every day we kill in automobiles. 200 a day. And it's more or less accepted as a part of progress. But one child dies in the interest of science, and Charles becomes an outcast.
So I moved here, to Nukai.
7 years ago.
Arlene has helped financially, so have others. And now, you must excuse me.
Oh, Charles, please, do join us for lunch.
No, I can't. But I promise cocktails at 6:30, and I shall talk interminably.
We shall look forward to it, Doctor.
Just packing Mr. Cody's things, sir.
Oh, please don't bother. I'll only be here a day or two, and Mr. Cody might object.
Mr. Cody is dead.
Just how do you know?
On these islands, it's not difficult to know things.
Then maybe you know who killed him.
No, I don't.
Who else knows he's dead? Well, Miss Bland doesn't. How about Crayford?
No.
Why not?
Because I hadn't told him.
Please, leave Mr. Cody's things here.
Whatever you say, Mr. Templar. Just one thing. A lot of people think that Dr. Crayford is the greatest man in the world. Other people hate him. I'd like to know which side you're on.
I'm for him at the moment.
Please stay that way.
Come in. Ah, favorite collaborator.
I thought I did that rather well.
What are you looking for?
I'll know when I find it.
That is a non sequitur.
Sly. Hello.
With all due respects, Mr. Cody was a lousy photographer.
Well.
What is it? You know him?
We struck up an acquaintance last night when he tried to kill me.
Ah, Simon.
You don't seem overly concerned.
You're here, aren't you?
It's logical. I wonder where he is.
Looks like he's on a boat.
Maybe this one. Come on.
Where are we going?
Oh, what do you do when you want to find a boat?
Go to the docks?
Brilliant. Shall we? Grant, we'd like to go down to the village. What do you do for transport?
Well, the Jeep is available. I will drive you.
We prefer to go alone if you don't mind.
May I ask why?
Oh, just to get some pictures. Local color as a background for our story on Dr. Crayford.
Oh, well, I suppose it's all right. It's parked out front.
Thanks.
The keys are in it.
Grant,
Yes, sir.
get the Jeep.
Yes, sir.
Who's using it?
Oh, Mr. Templar and Miss Clayton.
Who gave them permission?
Oh, they wanted to go to the village, and
I told you before, don't do anything around here without asking me.
Lovely, isn't it?
Hi, folks. You looking for to rent a boat? Maybe do a little fishing?
We're actually looking for a particular boat.
You name it, mister, I've got it.
How about this one?
Now, that one I can't do. That's Carnival Girl. Belongs to Pete.
Would, that be Pete?
Yeah, that's him.
Does he live around here?
Sure. First turning on the right, down a little alley, 7 Blue Grotto Street.
Thanks.
Except that he won't be there.
Oh, why not?
He went on to the main island yesterday. Ain't coming back until tomorrow.
Well, we'll wait, thanks.
Okay. Hey, if Pete can't fix you up, you come back and see me, eh?
We'll do that.
Okay.
Anybody home? Take a look around.
For what?
Something interesting?
Simon, let's stop playing games. There's more to this than Cody's death. What's really behind it?
A fortune, probably worth 20 or 30 million dollars.
Meaning?
I don't know.
Buried treasure, pirates, Captain Kidd, yo-ho-ho, and a bottle of rum.
Possibly. All I know is that Cody was onto something, that he wanted me to help him get out. He died before he could give me the details. Somehow or other, Pete and his boat are tied in with it.
I'll be darned.
You found something?
Commercial pilot's license.
Made out in the name of Jose Samaras.
Alias Pete.
Now, why would a man with a commercial pilot's license bury himself out here and rent out fishing boats?
Money, Mr. Templer? I'd never have enough of it. Never. Research these days is fantastically expensive. I get it wherever I can find it. Foundations, industrialists, wealthy people. Sometimes I beg. In a world that squanders $3,000 million a year on liquor and tobacco, I have to crawl to get a few $100,000 for something that will save millions of lives.
Well, one other thing, Dr. Crayford. You say you've been on the island for 7 years.
Yes.
What about your son?
That's right.
Except for Jan Vanderveld.
My dear, you're mistaken.
No, Charles, I remember it distinctly. It was right after that plane crashed.
Plane?
Yes, a plane disappeared somewhere over the Caribbean. Not a trace of it was ever found. The Navy searched for it for weeks. It just vanished. Anyway, I remember it was just afterwards that Jan Vanderveld arrived.
Well, yes, perhaps. It really doesn't matter. I'm rather tired.
Oh, how thoughtless of us. We've kept you up.
It's been a most enjoyable evening.
And informative. Dr. Crayford. Oh, I wonder whether I could have a list of the foundations and people who support your research.
Well, I'm not sure that that's in order.
Surely it's not confidential.
Well, certainly not. I'll type you up one the first thing in the morning. Good night, Charles.
Good night, Dr. Crayford.
Talk like a fool. You ruin everything. I told them nothing. You're not in charge here.
Neither are you.
We'll see about that.
Okay. You're a great scientist. Fine. You want to save lives. Fine. But you don't put no noose around my neck, understand? You hear? This girl with her camera also you get your picture in some stupid magazine. This Templar snooping, asking questions about money. I tell you, get rid of them fast. Tomorrow. Now listen. 1 more year. Finish. You do what you like. But you try to spoil things now, I kill you.
just do not understand. Who would want to do such a thing?
How about the same man who killed Cody?
Are you telling me Cody is dead?
Murdered last night in the Jungle Club.
I'm deeply shocked. Well, he asked for a few days off. I expected him back on Thursday. Have the police any ideas?
Probably not too many, but you'll be hearing from them.
This is terrible.
I'm glad you think so.
Mr. Templar, I'm as distressed about this as you are. And if you're investigating Cody's death, you can be assured of my fullest cooperation.
Thank you, Doctor, and good night.
Why wasn't I told about Cody?
I didn't want you should get upset.
But why?
Everything you see is through a microscope. The big things you miss.
Answer me, why?
He found it.
Did you have to murder it?
You know I did.
He's blackmailing you.
No.
He has some sort of a hold over you.
Arlene, please, don't ask questions. Not tonight.
I've always known you had some reason for keeping him around. Dozens of times I've heard him say things to you that you wouldn't dream of taking from anybody else.
Arlene, it's none of your business. Please.
None of my business. Charles, after all I've done for you.
You did it because you wanted to. I never asked you for money.
It's all right, Charles.
I give you a word of advice. Keep quiet.
About what? That plane, perhaps? Cody's death? His murder? Never.
But who'd do it?
I don't know.
You don't suspect Crayford?
I suspect everybody. Somehow or other, it's all tied in with these snapshots of Cody's.
I just don't get it. Beaches, Arlene, Crayford, Pete's boat.
Yes, we're going to have a long talk with him when he gets back.
Then there's this, whatever it is.
It's from Martello Tower.
No home should be without one.
Feeling all right this morning, Mr. Templar?
Oh, I am, but the snake isn't.
Dr. Crayford was most upset about the incident.
Where is he?
He and Mr. Van der Veld are in the laboratory.
And Miss Bland?
Still in her room.
Oh, Grant, do you know where this is?
Yes, sir. It's the Martello Tower. It's part of the old plantation on the other side of the island.
Thanks. Anybody using the Jeep this morning?
I'm sorry, Mr. Templar. You'll have to ask Mr. Van der Veld's permission.
I'll be happy to. Oh, Mr. Van der Veld, may I borrow your Jeep? No? Thank you very much. Seems easy.
I wish I knew what we were looking for.
We'll know, I hope, when we get inside that Martello Tower.
There's nothing here.
Well, there has to be something. Whatever it is, Cody found it.
Mind your feet. Let's explore.
You're actually going down there?
You're my editor-in-chief. You should be leading the way.
What do you suppose is in them?
Gold bullion.
Cody's treasure.
For the taking.
Simon! Pathetic life.
A pointless death.
Hey, Vargas, there's a Jeep parked.
We're going to play a little variation on Russian roulette.
Now, the nice thing about my version is that I can't lose, and one of you can't win. One bullet in the gun. Now, one or both of you killed Cody, and both of you tried to kill me. So, unless you want your brains scattered all over Cloud 9, you'll talk.
Simon, you can't.
Whose side are you on? Your name is Jose Salmares. You're a pilot.
Drop dead.
The odds against getting a bullet through your head have now dropped from 5 to 1 to 4 to 1. Where did the gold come from?
Goldfinger gave it me. He got it from Fort Knox.
It's now 3 to 1. Your name is Jose Salmerez. You're a pilot.
No.
Quite a gambler, aren't you? You can't win them all, brother.
No, don't.
I was saying it.
All right. Yeah.
The plane crashed?
Yeah.
Carrying gold bullion?
Yeah.
How did you work it?
Vanderveld. He was the navigator. We parachuted out. Crashed the plane into the shallow waters just off the beach. In a couple of hours, we unloaded all the bullion and then towed the wreckage out into the deep water and let it sink. Finally, they just gave up looking for it.
Very clever. Now, who killed Cody?
He did. I should take a bullet in the head for scum like you.
What about Eileen Bland?
Vanderveld. He got panicky. She'd do too much.
And how much does Crayford know?
Why don't you ask him?
An excellent idea. Well, gentlemen, enjoy yourselves. I'm sure the police will be along in a day or two to pick you up.
You rascal!
Well, now for a nice, cozy little chat with Dr. Crayford.
Count me out.
Oh, why?
What you did back there was the most horrible thing I have ever seen.
Just simple psychology.
You could have killed either of them on any shot.
I couldn't have. Sleight of hand, I didn't put the bullet in the gun. We have to talk to you, Dr. Crayford.
You're interrupting me. This is vitally important.
So's Eileen Bland's death. Vanderveld killed her. We found her in the Martello Tower. And the gold.
I'm terribly sorry.
I'm sure you are.
You must understand. When I met Vanderveld, I was desperate for money. He told me he was flying a shipment of gold from Bermuda to Georgetown. And we planned it. He and I and the pilot. But we had to get rid of the gold slowly. A bar or two a month, or we'd attract attention. So I hid them here on the island. And in return, they gave me money for this. Please let me keep it.
You mean we ignored 2 killings?
Templar, I'm begging you. I'm truly, deeply sorry about Cody and Arlene. But get things in perspective. My serum can save millions of lives. I'm offering the world the gift of health. All the people, in any country, anybody who will accept it. Cody and Arlene are already dead. Forget them. Instead, think of the living. I'm very near the final breakthrough here. Please don't stop me.
They won't. Like you say, Doctor. What's the difference? 2 lives or 4?
Jan, wait! Please, give me your word that
Who
you'll...
are you kidding? They have the police here in no time.
Forgive me. I just couldn't go along with murder.
Well, Mr. Templar, at least you won't be able to turn me over to the police.
I wasn't going to. Your work's too important.
Unfortunately, it won't be finished.
He was a great man.
But wrong about so many things.
Was he wrong? I wonder.